Now we talk about kingdom Bryophyta. Kingdom Bryophyta. Kingdom Bryophyta. Bryophyta is made up of two words. Bryon means mosses and phyton means plants. Phyton means plants. Okay, so if we talk about Bryophyta, they are simplest and most primitive non-vascular plants, and they have embryo stage in their life cycle. First feature of Bryophyta is, we can say, they are the simplest and most primitive non-vascular plants. They are simplest, most primitive and non-vascular plants. Okay. As I am telling you, they are non-vascular, means they do not have vascular tissues like xylem and phloem. Next point is vascular tissues. Xylem and phloem is absent. Okay. These Bryophyta are generally known as amphibians of plant kingdom. Why they are called amphibians? They are called amphibians of plant kingdom. Why they are called amphibians of plant kingdom? Because generally they are growing, or generally they grow on land, means essentially they are terrestrial, but they need water in every step of life. That's why they are called amphibian of plant kingdom. Okay. Next feature is that they are gametophytic. They are gametophytes because they produce gametes. They are gametophytes. Why they are gametophytes? Because they produce gametes. Okay. Now if we talk about the plant body, then plant body is flat, green and thallus. Plant body is flat, green and thallus. Thallus means plant body is not differentiated into stem, leaves and roots. If they are not differentiated into leaves and roots, but if the root is absent, but they need something, they need support to fix in the ground. So beside the roots, they have hair-like structures, rhizoids. As the roots are absent, true, leaves and roots are absent, they have hair-like, beside the roots they have hair-like structures, they have hair-like rhizoids. Did you get it? They do not have roots, as the plant body is thallus. Then beside the roots they have hair-like structures called rhizoids. If we talk about reproduction, then sex organs, they need sex organs. They have multicellular sex organs. Sex organs are multicellular. Sex organs are multicellular. Okay, and male organs are called antheridia, and female sex organs are called Here we can say male sex organs. Antheridia and female sex organs are called archegonia. Is it clear? Now embryo is formed upon the fertilization. Embryo is formed upon fertilization. Okay. An example of Bryophyta are liverwort. Examples are liverwort, hornwort, mosses, etc. Clear? So, I told you about kingdom Bryophyta. Means Bryophyta is made up of two words. Greek word bryon means moss and phyton means plants. As I told you, they are the simplest and most primitive non-vascular plants. Non-vascular means plants do not have vascular tissues, xylem and phloem. They are called amphibians of plant kingdoms because essentially they grow on land, but they need water in every stage of life, and they generally grow in moist and shady places. Generally they grow at the bank of river, lakes, ponds and wet hills. Clear? Then they are gametophytes, mean they produce gametes. Plant body is flat, green and thallus. Plant body is not differentiated into stem, leaves and roots. Roots are absent, but they have hair-like tissue, hair-like structures called rhizoids. Sex organ. If we talk about reproduction, then sex organs are multicellular. Male sex organs are called antheridia and female sex organs are called archegonia. Embryo is formed upon fertilization, and the examples of Bryophyta are liverwort and hornwort, etc. Is it clear to you? Now we will talk about kingdom Teridophyta. Kingdom Teridophyta . If we talk about kingdom Teridophyta, then they are the first vascular plants on land. Kingdom Teridophyta . They are the first vascular plant on land. What are the features? They are the first vascular plant on land. If they are vascular, means vascular tissue, xylem and phloem both are present. Vascular tissues xylem and phloem are present. Clear? Now they are sporophytes. Plant body is sporophyte. They are sporophyte. Sporophyte means they produce spores. They produce spores. Okay, clear? Next is, if we talk about reproduction, first of all, as I told you, they are sporophytes, they produce spores. Then on the basis of spores, they are again of two types, homosporous and heterosporous. Homosporous and heterosporous. Homosporous means they have one type of spores. They produce one type of spores. That's why they are called homosporous. And heterosporous means they produce two different types of spores. They produce two different types of spores. Okay, as they are producing two different types of spores, then smaller spores are called microspores and larger spores are called megaspores. They have two types of spores. Microspores means smaller and megaspores means larger in size. Megaspores. Okay, and spores are produced in sporangia. As I told you, they are sporophytes, they produce spores, then spores are produced in sporangia. Spores are produced in sporangia. In heterosporous, as they are producing two different types of spores, then these different type of spores will be produced in different sporangia. Clear? If we talk about reproduction, then they have multicellular sex organs. Multicellular sex organs. Clear? Male sex organ is antheridia. Antheridia. And female sex organ is archegonia. Archegonia. Clear? So, this is the characteristics of Teridophyta. Now, we will talk about Gymnosperm. Gymnosperm is generally a subdivision of division Spermatophyta. Now, we talk about Gymnosperm. We will talk about Gymnosperm. Gymnosperm. Okay. Gymnosperm. This gymnosperm is made up by two words. Gymno means naked and sperma means seeds. Okay. So, word itself defined means gymnosperm, this is the subdivision. Subdivision gymnosperm is the group of plants which are naked, which are having naked seeds. So, first of all, this is the subdivision of division Spermatophyta. This is the, or we can say it is subdivision of division Spermatophyta. Okay, Spermatophyta means they have seed plants, they are seed plants. Clear? Next is that as they are having seeds, Okay, then they have a vascular plant, they are vascular plants, and their sporophylls are aggregated to form cones. Next feature is sporophylls are aggregated to form cones. Okay, cones are again of two type, male cone and female cone, male cone and female cone. Male cone and female cone. Male cone produce male sperms, we can say they produce male gametes called pollen grains. They produce pollen grains, clear? And female cone generally have ovule and they produce eggs inside the ovule. Next, if we talk about, then female egg is produced in formed, we can say it is formed inside the ovule. Clear? As we know, they have pollen grains, means pollination will be done by wind. The next process of reproduction is pollination. Then pollination is done by wind. Okay, if we talk that female eggs is formed in ovule, then these ovules are not covered by ovaries. Next point to be noted is ovules are not covered. Ovules are not enclosed or covered ovaries. Clear? As I told you, pollination is done by wind, means when the wind blows, it takes pollen grains to the ovule, and when it fertilized, then ovule converts into the seed. After fertilization, ovule converts into seed. Clear? And one more thing, as I told you, they are vascular. If they are vascular, then they do not have vessels in xylem. We can say another point to be noted is they are vascular, but they do not have vessels in xylem. Vessels, or we can say true vessels, are absent in xylem. Okay, and companion cells are absent in phloem, but they have sieve tubes. Companion cells are absent in phloem. They have sieve tubes. Sieve tubes or sieve cells. Clear? So, if we talk about Gymnosperm, this is the subdivision of division spermatophytes. Spermatophyta means they are seed plants. Clear? And they have sporophylls are aggregated to form cones. Cones are of two types, male cones and female cones. Female cone have male gametes called pollen grains. Female eggs are produced in ovule. Ovule is not covered by ovary. That's why they are called naked seeds. Okay. And pollination is done by, because they have pollen grains, then we can say pollination is done by wind. When the wind blows, it takes pollen grains, and when it comes into the contact of ovules which are having eggs, then they fertilize and ovule convert into the seed. Okay, as seed ovule is not covered by ovary, then seeds are naked. That's why they are called gymnosperm. As I told you, gymno means naked, sperma means seed. So they bears naked seeds. Okay. As they are vascular plants, then they in xylem vessel is absent, and in phloem companion cells are absent. Only they have sieve tubes or sieve cells. Next is angiosperm. Now we will talk about angiosperm. Another subdivision, angiosperm. Angiosperm. Next is angiosperm. Okay. If we talk about angiosperm, then it is made up of two words. Angion means a case, and sperma means seed. Sperma means seed. If we talk about angiosperm, that it includes vascular plants which bear flowers. That's why they are known as flowering plants. It includes vascular plants which bear flowers, and also known as flowering plant, Okay. Now, flower bears stamens and carpels. If we talk about flowers, then flowers bears stamens and carpels. Now, what are stamens and carpels? These stamens are male reproductive organ and carpels are female reproductive organ. Male reproductive organ is stamen, and female reproductive organ is carpels. Female reproductive organ is carpels. Okay. Stamen produces pollen grains. What they produce? They produce pollen grains. Okay. And when these pollen grains come in the contact with ovule, how does the fertilization take place? When these pollen grains come in the contact with carpels, means carpels have ovules. Clear? When these pollen grains come in the contact with ovule, then they fertilized and ovule converts into seed. It converts into seed. Again, the point is to be noted that ovules are covered in ovaries. Let me tell you, ovules are enclosed in ovaries. Okay, then when they fertilize, when the pollen grain come in the context of ovules, then they fertilize and ovules convert into seeds. They convert into seeds and ovaries convert into fruit. Okay, that's why we can say that seeds are enclosed in the fruit. Then we can say that seeds are enclosed in a cage and they are called angiosperm. Okay, and one more point is to be noted, then seeds enclose embryo, and embryo is miniature of plant, baby plant. This is miniature baby plant. Now, if we talk about embryo, then embryo has three parts. It contains three parts: plumule, radicle and cotyledons. An embryo contains three parts: plumule, radicle and cotyledons. Embryo, okay, it contains three parts: plumule. Plumule means future shoot, radicle, future root, and cotyledon. These are generally known as seed leaves. Cotyledons, they are generally known as seed leaves. Now, on the basis of number of cotyledons, again it is divided into two categories, or we can say it is distinguished into two categories. What are they? Dicotyledons and monocotyledons. Dicotyledons and monocotyledons. Okay. Dicotyledons means the plants which have two cotyledons in the embryo. It has two cotyledons in embryo. They have generally taproot system. What are the features? Such kind of plants have taproot system. If we talk about the vascular bundle, then vascular bundles are found in a ring. Vascular bundles are in ring. Vascular bundles are in ring. Clear? Now, if we talk about monocotyledons, then they are the plants in which embryo has only one cotyledon. Embryo has only one cotyledon. And if we talk about vascular bundle, then they are scattered. Vascular bundle is in the form of scattered. They are scattered. Okay, and generally they have fibrous root system. Such plants have fibrous root system. Hope it is clear to you. So, here the plant kingdom is over. In plant kingdom, we studied about the different kingdoms, and thus it was the detail of the complete plant kingdom. It is over here. Now, we will study about the animal kingdom.